Mosaic has about, 7,500 full-time employees, about 11,000 total. A lot of those are contractors. We operate in 7 countries. We're the world's largest phosphate-producing fertilizer production in the world. We're the product of a merger. Part of us came from the Cargill world. We were Cargill Crop Nutrition, and then IMC was International Mining Corporation, operated out of Chicago. We had realized that we had a lot of duplication of data. We had totally different enforcement of record retention and compliance from the 2 different sides of the merger, and we really were realizing we had some risk there. We were publicly held at the time. Our litigation numbers were rising, and so we started getting more requests under subpoena from the lawyers, and we were having a hard time fulfilling them. We also had a lot of people who seemed to be operating off of different versions of the truth. Business decisions were being made in potash in Canada on similar but different information than in phosphates, and we're seeing some impacts on operations. But it was originally the law department that raised the risk around e-discovery and compliance that really was the turning point where we said we have to address this. And we eventually chose OpenText, primarily because of the maturity of the SAP integration, because at that point we were a new SAP as a financial backbone, and we were really looking at that point to consolidate, to integrate, and so that really did make the difference. I wanted an established vendor that I could develop a deep relationship with. I wanted something that could handle more of my wish lists. I knew we had e-discovery on the horizon. I knew we wanted records management. But more importantly, I wanted international scalability. I have to scale it into Latin America. I have to scale it into Pacific Rim. And I saw more capabilities to scale it and distribute it there. We really want one source of the truth. And we want everybody, no matter where they are, to understand and have the trust that they are finding the right content at the right time, and that everybody else that wants that same thing is looking at the same thing. And it shouldn't matter if you come in through Office or coming through the web or coming through any other tool you use. We've provided a way where holistically we understand that we're controlling the content and, more importantly, the knowledge, so that the business can get to what they need quickly, efficiently, and the system gets out of the way. So early case assessment is probably my best immediate ROI, because we pay external counsel huge dollars to analyze our data for us. And the ECA tool gives us the capability of bringing that in-house so that we can slice and dice, analyze the data per legal matter, and produce for subpoena, because in the end, that's why that is. I mean, the courts, the opposing counsel is asking for data. We want to make sure that we give them the pertinent data, but also only the pertinent data. And that relies on an enforcement of record retention. From an e-discovery perspective, we have saved immediate dollars because our in-house staff can now produce for the courts. In the end, we'll have all 11,000 using it, primarily because their controlled documentation, their policies and procedures, their work instructions, their safety documents, their HR documents are all in there. So even if you're not, a social collaboration user, you're a plant maintenance operator, you still get to your safety documentation through the employee portal, which is driven out of the delivery server suite and eventually lives in content server for its life cycle. Because in our case, that's an ISO controlled document. It has a review cycle, it has a very specific life cycle of review and approval, and the backend system handles that. The key benefits to the users, they now not only have a sense of trust that they're looking at a single source of the truth, we've consolidated literally how they get to their information. So they get a sense of consistency. And that, again, heightens the level of trust in the system that they're looking at the right thing. And that's the real benefit that they got.